Like we were discussing earlier,
Yeah,
before our network issues, I talked about, you mentioned the insecurity, the farmer header issues going on in the northern part of the country. And you also mentioned that it's not, that I suggested that government should be able to help farmers with more technologically enhanced tools to make producing this crop in large quantities. So you were responding to that before the network issue.
Yes, yes, I agree with you. But the most unfortunate thing is that for every problem in this country, we, the citizens, don't take responsibilities. We only expect government to do everything. And I'll be speaking like a businessman, right? Now, all of a sudden, I discovered that wheat is a scarce product, not even in the local market, but also international market. Now, as a farmer, I want to maximize profits from my effort. So what I need to do is to ensure that I produce what I can sell. Now, under normal circumstances, when there are problems globally, let's take, for instance, the issue of petroleum. The Iraq-America crisis made Nigeria to make so much money from crude oil. That's where we talk about excess crude income. Now that there's a problem between Russia and Ukraine, Nigerian farmers can actually go into massive wheat farming to fill in the gap that the crisis is going to create. Yes, I agree that government may have to do a bit in terms of looking at technology, looking at research, what can be done to aid the increased yield in wheat, right? And then what are the assistance that can be given to farmers? But you can see that we're talking about wheat. Are we not talking about rice? Are we not talking about cassava? Because again, when you look at it, are you saying that farmers should leave planting of cassava, maize, and rice and start planting wheat? So, and I still remember a little bit of the economics and commerce that we were taught in secondary school. There's what you call comparative advantage. In the Southwest here, our land is very good for production of maize and cassava, and to some extent, plantain, right? But up north, if it's good for wheat and other similar grains, I think each state should look at what they have in terms of land resources and see which one will be of priority to them that can yield. Another thing for me also is that when we talk about government, I think we're not talking about federal government. What is the local government doing? What is the state government doing? Then what are individuals doing? I still had a meeting, an uninformed meeting yesterday with a farmer who farms very close to my own farm. And I was saying that those of us who farm around that place, is it not possible for us to form a cooperative or a small meeting where we can share ideas, share technology, even share resources? And the man was looking at, okay, maybe it's possible, okay? But these are things, we need information. So for me, I de-emphasize government in many of our challenges. I look at how I can catch in. If it's possible for me to farm wheat, I will farm wheat provided I know who will buy it. But I know that those who are also in agri are also interested in maize. The reason why you see chicken feed has gone up now is because of low supply of maize. And so agri now is the in thing. But unfortunately, many of our young people are still looking for the white collar jobs. People are not catching on the landed resources that the Lord has given us. Unfortunately, again, we are also, farmers are also being threatened by elders, and all those who also rear animals, and they use the animals to disturb those who are into crop. So the problems are multidimensional. But even as at that, let individuals, let us, for crying out loud a while, let us just pretend as if government does not exist. Okay? Let everybody help his or herself. If farmers, you know that you can make sales from wheat, why don't you go into it? For now, me, I produce plantain flour. I produce plantain, I produce cassava, and I produce my cassava into gari, and I make little money from it. And so that's the kind of thing that people should be talking about, and not just looking at government to do everything. Everything is government, 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 government. No, it won't work. As state governors, as local government are not helping anything. You will expect at least state government, which is still closer to the people than the local government. They should be the one driving all this agric thing that we're talking about, not federal government.
Yes, I totally agree with you on that. Yes, we need more participation from the state governments and also from the local government. We always know that the local government is closer to the people, to our grassroots development. But I just wanted to mention something to you. In Australia, there are 2 grain breeding companies that decided to join forces together and create a very good partnership that will enable them to produce more grains. So what you're actually suggesting, which I agree with, we shouldn't always blame the government. We should always, like, more individuals should come together, like you spoke about, and they should actually be able to create a partnership, a very strong partnership that can increase the use of grains in our society and within the larger Nigerian populace. So going forward, we know that, yes, Nigeria is still importing wheat because this is a highly sought after good, but we also want to recommend, we also want to suggest that because this good is highly sought after, let our production of this good be increased. It can't just be from the reports that was being, when my colleague went to the markets, there's only very few of the locally produced, locally grown wheat in the market. Most people want to buy the imported wheat because they like its taste and its texture. But if we actually work on refining and improving on the locally made wheat, it will actually sustain us more, and more people will actually want to patronize people that sell that product. So I would also like to suggest, apart from, yes, the issues with farmers, what they are going through, farmers and herders issues, but don't you think that that we actually need to improve on the production, to actually remove trade restrictions and actually improve on producing this more? I also understand that we have wheat. Okay, I understand you want to say something, Doctor.
Yes, I'm sorry. Now, those countries that produce wheat in that large quantity, all right, can you hear me? Now, if you check properly, government is not involved. Government is not involved. These are private businesses. Private businesses. The only thing that government will do, right, is to create an avenue for you to be able to sell your product within and outside. That is to do some kind of agreement with countries, right, where you can do exchange. That's one. The second dimension you brought in is the quality of imported wheat. Now, the simple logic is this: who determines the quality? And the most funny thing about us Nigerians is that anything we produce in our country is always substandard, and anything we import is always of high standard. That's a wrong mentality. Completely wrong mentality. And that's one of those things we need to deal with. I remember that under President Olusegun Obasanjo, he saw this wheat problem coming, and he launched a policy where he said that bread producers, people who produce flour, should start producing flour using cassava. Oh, I listened to that young, brilliant man who was talking about starch, cassava containing starch. But I know that through technology, you can distarch cassava. So what are we talking about? Oh, when they started producing, this one is not good. You see, the only thing that would not change is change in itself. Today is Monday. Some people will tell you that, yeah, you have to be corporate. And then you ask them, what is corporate? They expect that you put on a shirt, a tie, and a suit. But is that who we are as Nigerians? And when you continue to put this, what does it say? What is wrong about us looking inward, eating what we produce, and stop this propensity for imported products? If we don't produce enough wheat, let us use cassava. Let us use cassava. We produce cassava. Let us produce cassava. But our mentality is that we are just interested in everything that's imported. And the most unfortunate thing about us is that even many people outside so much love our own products.